I also don't think like the goal of church is to like find your mate. Like, yeah, that's great if you find someone, but like the goal is that we become more like Christ. And so I'm like, we're missing it if it's
Right.
just all about getting married and having babies. Like, it's
Totally.
about Christ.
Hello and welcome to the Christians Who Date podcast. I'm Callie Christofferson, and I'm here with two of my favorite people. Their names are...
Whoa, you did so good. Andrea Alley.
And Lauren Bornick.
Wow, that was a lot of pressure. Andrea just on the fly was like, what if you did the whole intro? And I was like, whoa, it's a lot of responsibility. So
you did amazing.
Thanks, guys. Whew.
Just as good as Dre, if not better.
No.
Whoa.
creating chaos on the podcast.
Whoa.
This is how
Andrea.
you want to start this thing, Lauren?
Andrea, we love your voice. I cannot do it as half as good as either of you. So there you go.
Wow.
That makes
Helps
anyone
that
feel
I say
better.
basically the same thing every time.
And then Callie and I were like, I don't know if I need to introduce myself. Are you introducing us?
Every week.
It's so confusing.
There's no script ever to the beginning of this podcast.
No.
I like it that way. I like it.
But the
So.
reason we thought I would intro is because these two ladies have some stories of being with men in the wild or encounters with men in the wild. So, ladies, I don't know who wants to go first, but we would love to hear your stories. Jump in.
Yeah. So we recently did an episode on how to get a boyfriend, and I just wanted to give everyone an update that I'm well on my way.
The ring is practically in the mail.
Once you hear this story, you're gonna be like, whoa, this girl's getting snatched up.
Which is true.
So, as you guys know, I like to walk in my neighborhood or run. And sometimes that consists of walking backwards. And so I reached the hill where I normally walk backwards, but when I'm going downhill, I walk forwards. And then
I love this step by step. This is the direction I'm usually walking. Okay.
When I come back, I'm setting the scene.
Got it.
When I come back up, that's when I walk backwards. And so I'm on the hill, and my neighbor gets out of his car, and I do like a little like glance over to the side, and he's looking at me, and he's smiling, and he's cute. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Right.
But I'd kind of already passed him, so I was like, I can't. I mean, I guess I could walk backwards to say hi. But I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. And then I was thinking, all right, when I like come back up this hill, should I walk backwards like I normally do? Like now that I know that I'm passing this guy. And it was kind of a debate in my head because I was like, it might be a good icebreaker, you know? Like he could be like, I noticed you're not walking the way that everyone walks.
I'm sure
Why
you would
is
have
that?
said it like that too. Yeah.
I'm also curious how many times he's seen you walking that hill.
I also have thought about that.
How many times has he seen you walking backwards and up? You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's, or maybe he's heard of this guy because I feel like the dudes know this guy. The dudes know knees over toes guy. So maybe he would have just pointed at me and been like, knees over toes guy. And I would have been like, yeah. And that would have been our meet cute.
And then,
go ahead, Cal.
Oh, then I was just going to say, then you'd talk and fall in love and boom, done.
Yeah. So I don't think it's hard to see like how this is going to progress.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious.
No,
already filled in.
I mean, as long as he's like within your age range, which we never know.
Oh, you never know anymore. It's so
difficult. Know because you look so young, and he could be 23 or he could be your age. So we just don't know.
Right.
But
totally.
We'll worry about that later next week when you meet him.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Or tomorrow. We never know.
To be continued. People need to listen to the pod.
Yeah.
So there you go.
this love saga with my neighbor. This is just the very beginning of it.
Very
so
beginning. Can't wait
just
for it to
strap in.
unfold.
Strap in. Okay, Lauren.
So good. I
Were
also
you gonna
have,
share with us?
Yes, I have a man in the wild story.
Whoa.
So no, it has some twists. You'll understand.
You always have the twists and turns.
It's got some twists and some turns and some lassos. Let's just say that.
Some lassos.
Very Montanan of you.
Yeah. So my boyfriend and I love to go to this, like, it's called like a sports complex, and it has hundreds of stairs that you can like go up and down, and it's like a place where people can go work out, then go running. It's really cool, actually. Like, we'll drive an hour to go there because we love, it's got like hundreds of stairs. You can go back and forth and all that. So a lot of people are there solely to work out. Actually, everybody's there to solely work out and climb these stairs. So my boyfriend were at the same time, like, running up the stairs together. He goes way ahead of me because he's fitter than me. And there's this guy wearing a like trucker hat. He has a big lasso around his neck, no shirt, and really, really low ride jeans and cowboy boots. And he's doing stairs as well. He's doing stairs
in LA. He's a cowboy in LA, like that Lainey song.
He's a cowboy in LA, but he's kind of like an odd duck. He's an odd duck. So he's like somehow kind of tracking with me, as in like he's like, we're pretty close in like our step in range. And I was just like, this guy is a character. So I get ahead of him as we're going down the stairs. My boyfriend is nowhere to be seen. And this guy takes his lasso off and he starts to like swing the lasso around. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is he gonna try to like lasso me? And this is what's going on in my head. I'm like nervous, so I start running faster down. I'm like, is this guy gonna lasso me? I'm so scared.
Like, I don't want to be lassoed.
And I'm like, where's my boyfriend? Like, someone protect me. And so it's okay. So thankfully, it's fine. But thankfully, the guy was just rearranging his lasso around his neck. So this was like,
thank goodness,
a 20-foot long like rope he had like around him, hanging off of his bare chest. I don't know who he was trying to.
It's a lot to carry around.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I was like, huh, okay, good. He did not lasso me. But then later on, he was like near us again, and I was literally like, I was just nervous. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna like tie me up. Like, I don't know. I just got nervous because he was a little like odd. Like, you know, you're just like, I don't know. This person like is, I can't figure them out. I don't know if I trust them with their lasso.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was dark. This guy's around. My boyfriend's with me. And I was like, can you wait by the bathroom as I go? Because I don't want this guy to lasso me.
Yeah.
And I literally like was like, I don't know. It's just weird. So anyways, there's my lasso friend. Wow. We call him Yessie. That's his name. We made a name for him, Yessie. But Yessie the cowboy's on the stairs, run around.
Wow.
Was your boyfriend as concerned as you were that you were potentially going to be lassoed?
No, he was like, he's just a weird guy, but like, he's fine. And I'm like, no, this guy is going to lasso me.
But it's also LA. Anything's possible.
Dude, that's how I feel in LA. Yeah.
So it's like, you're kind of unfazed, but then there's also people like who do really weird things. So you're just kind of like a little just on your edge, but you're like, it's fine, we're cool, everyone's here, but just in case.
They do not obey social norms always.
Exactly. So there you go. That's my lasso story of Yessie in the wild.
Wow. That's wild.
So, there you go. We didn't talk. It was just more like in proximity, and he was taking off his rope, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Sounds like you're probably going to stay with your boyfriend, is what it sounds like.
I'll be fine. I wasn't not alert to this man. I wasn't like,
he was not a threat to your boyfriend.
I want to be with you.
Your lasso got me.
But I think some girl would be into it. Like, I think some girl would be into his whole look for sure.
Yeah,
they'd be like, this is like some sexy Montana dream of mine, you know, in LA.
Like, I never thought I would find a cowboy in LA, but I finally did.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my story.
Thanks for sharing, guys. Those were good.
Yeah.
Men out in the wild.
Yeah. You never know. So obviously things are going well for everyone.
Yeah.
Very well.
Really great experiences happening out there for us.
Totally. Well, should we get into our topic of today?
Yeah.
Let's
Callie,
do
are
it.
you hosting this part too?
I wasn't ready. There was so much pressure for the beginning, so I will let you intro the topic as well.
We'll lasso it over to you, Andrea.
Just keep throwing things at Callie willy-nilly.
Yeah.
So we are talking about I did a little research, pulled up I wanted to know what the internet's talking about in the realm of Christian dating. And so I did a little market research, and it turns out that a lot of people are talking about being single in the church, what that experience is like, how the church has either met or not met their needs. And it was interesting. One of the statistics that was mentioned was that 50% of people are single. Like it's kind of like people are staying single later and later. And this was a 2024 survey. 50% of people said that they're single and they're not even looking for a relationship, which is kind of wild. And then the argument was the church is not adjusting to this. There's still like a huge emphasis on marriage and families, and the church isn't serving singles. And a lot of people had a lot of things to say about that. So we thought we'd chime in on this conversation.
Why not, you know?
Why not?
We're single still in a sense.
Yep.
Like none of us are married, so
Nope.
Yeah.
we have lots to say of experience in the church being single.
Yeah. None of us are married, and all of us have spent a lot of time like straight up single, like not even dating.
While going to church.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've been in church that whole time. And so yeah, we just wanted to chat a little bit to the singles, I think, and then chat a little bit to married people or even like leaders in the church who genuinely are wondering like how they could serve singles better. So yeah, I guess to start, do you guys have any thoughts, or what has your experience been as a single in the church?
I can jump in.
Jump in, Cal.
Yeah. I've been in church my whole life and single for most of it, as you all know. And honestly, like when we all were in California, went to the same church, and there was a real emphasis on like finding somebody and like dating, getting married. But I didn't feel like in that setting that there was any shame around being single, but there was kind of like an encouragement of like, hey, just get out there, like try dating, and like there was an encouragement to do that, because I think a lot of people that were coming into that environment were coming out of situations where they were actually afraid to take risks. So they were really promoting like, hey, just take a risk, like ask somebody out on a date. And then when people would get married, they were like, yeah, way to go. But in those
very pro dating,
pro marriage. But I will say in those settings, I didn't feel like I'm not being celebrated because I'm single. Like nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
And then when I went, when I've gone to other churches, like I'd say there is still like a bit more of a slant towards like talking about marriage and like having a family. But I haven't really gone to a church that has like necessarily looked down on me because I've been single, but maybe in like group situations, or like if I've gone to like some kind of like community and it's like a situation where there is more married people, then I will kind of run into like, okay, well, I'm single and I'm feeling a little excluded. So that has come up before for me, but not as much in like a church situation. So that's been my experience. But what have you guys experienced?
Yeah, I think when I lived back in Indiana, I was more a part of churches that were very much like you're more spiritual if you're married or if you have a family. And so it was a big emphasis on that. And I was younger at the time, so I was kind of like, oh, well, I'll have a family eventually. So, like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Doesn't phase you the same way.
But it has been interesting when I visited family members' churches, it is very much like you're kind of dangerous being single and older, or you're not fully like acknowledged, or like almost like something's wrong, or like I've had multiple people who they're like, oh, we're praying for you, like something's wrong with you that you're single. So that has been like kind of a bummer, because you're like, ooh, there are people now are getting divorced, there's people like, there's definitely single people and there's nothing like wrong or dangerous about them, but I think some people and the church think like you're safer if you're married, which we all know, we've talked about, like, you, no matter what, you're, no one's safe unless you have healthy boundaries, like, period. But yeah, it just seems like I do think the church is a great place for like meeting other people, but that's not why we go to church. We don't go to church to like date or to get married. We're going to church to encounter Christ and to be a part of the body of Christ. I've been a part of churches more and more where I just realized like, oh, I'm so glad, even as a single person, to be a part of the church, or that people who maybe don't have families or older people who are widowed have the body of Christ. Like, even if your family is not Christians, like you have all these people to connect with. So I've been like really grateful for the church, and I've been a part of quite a few churches that really include single people and celebrate people in their singleness, and have like women's events that it's like whether you're married or whether you're single, like you're totally part of it. Or I think my church is very like, there's so many kids at my church and so many families, but I feel so included by like the moms, and they've had like our pastor kind of like randomly invited a ton of like of the single people in our church to his house and like had a dinner, and it was like so low key and not weird and awkward. It was like, we're just gonna have a dinner and like a lot of you guys are happen to be single, like, just so happens to be. And so, and like, you know, it was like intentional, but it was like him trying to say like, you guys matter. And I think it really does start with like the top down of like the leadership being like, no, single people have like a huge part in our church, because it's true. Like, there are people of all ages right now single in the church, not just like young college students. It's like people in their 30s. There's people who are maybe widowed. There's people who are divorced. Like, I do think that 50% is more correct. So churches do have to like realize like they're so important and so meaningful, and it's not like your value is less just because you don't have kids or you aren't married. And I think some places see marriage as like the ultimate godly thing, and I'm like, what if it was just our relationship with Christ, period? You know, that's so important. And so yeah, and not bashing on marriage or family. I think it's beautiful and I like love it, and I get stoked seeing it celebrated in the church, because I think there is so much of our culture is pulling or bashing families or pulling families apart. And I mean, I saw divorce wreck my family, and so I'm like, yeah, any way we can fight for marriage and family in the church, let's do it, because that's like one of the only spaces fighting for families, I feel, right now.
Totally.
So I'm so for that. And as a single person, I don't feel left out in that way, but I do think being secure in like my identity of like, I'm valuable whether I'm single or whether I'm married, like that's not changing. Like, my values in Christ. I do think you have to come and like deal with that as a single person, because I think comparison can kill you if you're just like, well, I'm only valuable here if I'm married, or I'm only valuable here if I'm have kids, you know. And I'm just like, that will literally make you go crazy. So yeah, I don't know what you think, Dre.
Yeah, for sure. I think overall I feel like I've had a pretty good experience in church, but I do see how it's changed a little bit, because I do think when you're a young adult, you have like a space, you know, like they usually have young adults that are, it's like college to 30. And so it has been interesting being over 30, because you're like, okay, I've aged out of young adults and I'm not going to join like a married group. So like right now I'm in like a life group and it's mostly married people.
Same.
There's like a couple of us that are single. And like honestly they've done a great job including me and inviting me to stuff, and even like the husbands, I don't feel like I'm like, I only talk to the wives or whatever. Like I talk to everybody, and I feel like it's like we're all in this group together, like they all feel like my friends. I don't feel like, I don't know, that I have to like not make friends with the married men, I guess. Because I'm dangerous, um
Single woman.
I'm a single woman. um yeah, I feel like they've really like invited me in. I did notice, because I have dated someone in the church, and I do remember like when we broke up, it did feel like, oh, maybe I'm like not as invited into some spaces, or maybe they just don't know what to do with me as much when it's like, because I think when you're friends with a lot of couples and you have somebody that can be your plus one to stuff, I don't know. I do remember like noticing a difference between like when I had someone that I could go to stuff with and not. But it's honestly a tricky thing. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how much of that was just on me, and my lens and my perspective. Because I feel like for the most part, yeah, like my leadership has like put me into roles where I like preach or lead in different capacities, and they haven't been like, well, you really can't step up until you have your spiritual covering.
Yeah. Well,
or anything like that.
And I think it's also probably why we've all had better experiences as single women, is because we've been a part of churches that promote women in leadership and women to preach. True. And I think we would probably have maybe different experiences being at churches where it is more in that conservative bent of women are not allowed to speak in church and women are not allowed to be leaders in church, unless it's over children. So I think that's where we probably have had a different experience as singles.
That's true.
Because I know some people, I think we were sharing about some friends that have had really hard experiences being single in the church and and I've heard people comment of like, they always talk about family and da da da. And so,
yeah. Well, and it's interesting because I feel like they do always talk about family and marriage, and it is definitely promoted. But I think my head goes more to where you, like what you were saying, Lauren, where it's like, no, we have to promote it because we're the only ones fighting for it. Like we're the only ones so I kind of look at it as more of like a team effort. Like I'm on the team and we're all promoting marriage and family because God cares about it, and it does feel like there's been an attack on it. And like even if you're single, you could like even as a single person, like I'm like, I want to get married, I want to have kids. That's not where I'm at right now, but I do realize that as a society, family is really important, and it's really important that our kids are growing up in the security of like having a mom and a dad at home. Like like it's an important fundamental part of society. So I'm like, I want to protect it and promote it and be part of that like bigger vision, I guess.
Also, sorry, Andrew, were you finished?
That's it.
Okay. Just wanted to check. But I would say, this is just my thought, but I think singleness, it is a gift. But I would say, it's on the rarer side that like truly people are called to be single for their whole life. And I think that it's interesting that currently in the church, it's like 50-50. And so I just kind of wanted to pose that question to you guys. Like, why do you think like the numbers have grown so much? Because I'd say that's pretty drastic to have it be like 50-50, where it's singles and marrieds to that extent.
Whoa, good question, Callie.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
Great moderator. I mean, I do think we're growing up in the generation where we've seen divorce destroy lives. And also we have so many options. I think marriage has been more and more watered down of like what the meaning of marriage is. I feel like I have this conversation often with friends of like, people are not laying down their lives for one another marriage. It's more like based on attraction, and not saying that you can't be attracted to yourself, but it's more based on like really superficial things than the idea of I'm laying down my life, I'm committing to you for life, and no matter what. And of course there's stipulations in that too of like, you know, there is the ability to get divorced if you have affairs or abuse. Like, yeah, we don't want anyone in an unhealthy relationship, but I think it's just divorce is becoming like a almost like a, oh, we don't like each other anymore, let's get divorced. Like, it's just, I'm like, where is there the fight for family? And so I feel like I'm maybe going a little off topic, but I think people are just more and more afraid to like lay down their life for somebody. And then I think, because it's scary to be like, I have to like commit to you the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Where we have so many options now to do everything for us. All of our society is about me, me, me. And really, we know the greatest reward is laying down your life for someone else and for a family. But I think people are afraid to do that.
That's really
good. I heard someone say that millennials are the most jaded, like from divorce, because we, like, it's just the statistics on divorce started skyrocketing when we were kids. And so we just have this fear of getting married and you know, it not working out. And so I think there's a lot of validity to what Lauren was saying. I think that's a real thing that's affecting us. I also think for some reason we have a little bit more of this like maximizer like mentality than other generations have had. Like, we're very like, I want to make sure that I like get the best possible person for me, and we can get like really perfectionistic about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, you know, it's like somebody's almost perfect, but there's probably someone out there that like is even more perfect. Yeah. And we're always looking for like, well, is this the absolute best option that I can get kind of thing? I think our generation, for whatever reason, has been more affected by that mentality than others in the past. And maybe it's partially because of dating apps. Like, you just always have options that you can swipe through. Maybe because of social media, we're looking at other couples, you know, and their perfect like portrayal of what it's like to be in a relationship or in a marriage, and we're trying to find someone that's going to add up to that, but it's not real because they're only showing, you know, the pretty side of it. So I guess I wonder how much those things have affected us and kind of put us where we're at. But also, like, we've had so many people come on this podcast. I feel like almost everyone has said they read I Kissed Dating Goodbye. And I feel like in the church specifically, like, that really affected our like, it almost like delayed us into like taking risks in dating a little bit because we stopped dating. Sorry.
I was gonna say, side note, my aunt gave that to me and I threw it out. I don't know why. I was like, I don't like this book because everyone's reading it.
This is too not from the Lord.
No. Yeah.
No. I know. I think both of those are like such good points. And like, I think we mentioned it earlier too, but I do think there is just an attack on family, and that has looked a lot of different ways, especially in the last couple of years. But I think, just the idea of, I don't need anybody, I can do things on my own, which to an extent, absolutely. And is there, like we said, the gift of singleness, and that is what you're legitimately called to? Yes. But there is also a bit of an attack on families, and that shows up in a variety of ways. So it's interesting. So I just wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. And I love
that question.
And I love that, like, Jesus literally was single. Like, he never had a family, but he was the most invested in community, and he had men and women, male and female relationships. Like, he was deeply invested in so many lives, like obviously hundreds of lives, but it just shows like he modeled true relationship with people that was pure and beautiful and good. And that's why I'm so grateful for the body of Christ, because I'm like, if you're lonely, like, go to a church, like, find some people,
get in there.
But also I'm like so grateful for those who are elderly that can go to the church. I know I'm like going off topic, but I'm just like, oh, if you're lonely, like that, go to a church. Like you'll find someone to love you well. And sometimes you'll like look at a church and you're like, oh, there's some interesting humans here, because you don't get to choose who comes in the doors. But I love that. I'm like, yes, bring in every type of person, every type of background. Like they can find community here. And so I'm like so grateful for that. And so it is like a sad if a church is like, well, you're not valuable because you don't have a ring on your finger. It's like, no, like every person is valuable. And so I know a lot of churches want people to feel valued. I think it's just we have to be careful with our language and how we go about it.
Yeah.
So
Psalm 68:6 literally says God sets the lonely in families. So yeah, just it's true. You should go to church because God will put you in a family. Well, and I was also thinking Jesus had to work hard to be alone.
Yeah.
Like the man had to like go up a mountain or like sneak away to the wilderness. Like when I picture his life, like he was only alone when he was intentional about being alone. Like otherwise he was always with people.
well, that's because he was doing insane things, but
It's true. Yeah, but it just means like
Yeah.
he was single, but he wasn't like isolated by any means.
Yeah.
He had 12 people with him at all times.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
A lot of
followers.
crazy.
Yeah, at least 12. But
oh my gosh,
12
so
to 80 to 5,000 to I was gonna ask if say you had a single person come up to you who said, I can't even be in church. It is unbearable because of how much they talk about families, and they're really failing me. I can't even be there. What would you say?
I love that I'm smiling. I don't know why.
She's like, boy, do I have an answer for you. Go for it, Lauren.
I mean, I just think the church is again about people in general. Like, get involved. I'm a part of a community group of mostly married people, and I freaking love it. It is the best. And I think it's because I'm secure in myself and it's not about me. And so it's like about others. And so I'm just at church and I'm like, oh my gosh, who are the people I can like love on today? Or I get to be on prayer team. And wow, I sound really spiritual, but it's just like, it's not about like, okay, did you only talk about married people today? But I think it's also, I'm not offended because I know I have a place there.
Yeah.
And I do think that is so helpful, is like, I know my pastors are for me. And that does create a security of like, oh, I have a place at my church. And so because I have a place, how can I give? What can I give? Like, I'm just as important as someone who's married. I'm just as important as that little 3-year-old. They really value kids at my church. And I just love that. And I mean, I'm like, if they're valuing 3-year-olds, they're going to value me as a single woman. And so I think there's something there when you can be a part of a group that is like, oh, we're so glad you're here. No matter what your status is. And I think it can get wonky when you focus on your status of like single, married, pregnant, mom, not mom. Like, I think that can get a little wonky. And of course there needs to be spaces for all, but I think that's where I'm like, I hope that people can really own. We've talked about ownership. We have a podcast on ownership. Please listen to it. But like, own your life and be like, well, what am I going to give? Instead of what am I here to get out of this community? You'll be so much more fulfilled. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, like, I mean, it's what Lauren said, but church isn't about you. And so if you're going and being like, well, I'm just not valued, nobody looks at me, I'm like, that's a lot of you. And church is literally not about you. It's about Jesus, first of all. And then second, it's about becoming a body. And like Lauren said, it's coming in and seeing like, okay, what are the gaps I can fill? And you're going to be able to fill a gap that other people can't fill. And so don't be a victim. Like, ultimately, it's like, if people have treated you bad in the past, okay, how can you move forward? How can you show up and, like Lauren said, own who you are? And yeah, maybe you're at a church that they're severely lacking in their awareness of people being single. How can you kindly, like, make change? How can you bring awareness to that, but not make it about you? So
yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, if you're at a church that's manipulative or unhealthy or abusive or has like crazy stuff, get out of it. But that's not to, like, of course we don't want you at a church like that. But
even
I think
if you're married, get out of it.
That's what I mean. Is I'm like,
that sounds like a bad place to be.
That's what I mean. If like the church is unhealthy, like, because we're getting a lot of exposure of unhealthy spaces
right.
and leaders, I'm like, yeah, you can leave that church. Like, I don't want you in a toxic space, but like, also toxic, anyways, that buzzword. But it's like, but also I think just coming and being like, well, you don't have a singles group for me. It's like, then I think it make one, you know, like, don't just leave it, go about it, go do something about it. So, okay, Andrea. Wow, soapbox. I didn't know I'd get into this podcast so much.
It's been a lot of fists happening. Yeah, I mean, whoa, was that
Kanye?
Dang, Montana.
Montana rain. That was cool.
It's not joking.
We've never had thunder on the pod.
That was the dog.
I thought something like knocked over.
No, it's just the thunder.
Wish I was there.
I think it's okay, but if it happens again, I'll close my windows.
Okay. Oh, your windows are open. That makes more sense.
open.
I was like, how are we hearing it? Are you okay?
No, it's just a tornado. It's like Lauren. It's like, whatever.
Typical.
Her hair starts like blowing.
Yeah, I'm like, it's fine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I mean, it's like, okay, if you're talking to somebody one-on-one, you can have compassion and maybe ask more questions and get to the bottom of like, okay, why does church feel so unbearable to you? But I think just in general, like, that attitude of like the church needs to be doing more for me, like the church is not doing enough, is just, you just got to break up with that. Like, married, single, old, young, like, get that out of here, because you are the church. So it's not like you don't come in as a consumer, you come in with ownership. Like, you come in like, no, I'm part of this. So if the church has a need, then it's my job to help meet that need. Like Lauren was saying, like, create spaces, you know, or have hard conversations. You can like talk. It's not like your pastor's like, you know, well, I mean, I don't know your pastors, but my pastor and I would say most pastors out there, they want to hear if you, you know, if there's something that they can do to like support you uniquely, like, especially if you're doing your part to serve and and contribute, and they realize that you're not just there to like take. But yeah, the church is like, it's a team effort, man. Like, it's not like you just show up on Sundays and wait for a message that is speaking directly to you or whatever. Like, we're all doing this together, and even like if you're not serving in church, if you're just attending and you've been attending for a long time and you're not plugged in, like, I would ask questions about that, because it's your job to facilitate what's going on Sundays. So you know, or throughout the week or whatever, for those of us that maybe serve in a more Wednesday situation. But hypothetically speaking, but I will say, like, I am changing churches because I like have the dream of getting married, and I do think church is a great way to meet someone that's aligned with your values, and I have tried other avenues and they have not worked. And so I think it's kind of become this thing where, okay, I do kind of need somewhere where there's more single people. It just happens to be that the church that I was at is a lot of young families. But I'm not like, I don't know, there's no like bitterness in my heart that's like, well, you guys didn't serve me, you know, like I'm like, actually, I got so much from my time there. Like, and I have been so like, I'm still going to keep going to my life group because I've gotten so much of being around, like from being around these married people and like even serving on the youth team. Like I've gotten to step into like preaching and different like giftings and teaching and discipleship, like that I've gotten so much from being there, even though they weren't trying to like tailor things towards me as a single person, you know? But all that to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with if you're like, where are the single people at? Like, oh, they're over there? Like, maybe I'll go over there because, you know, it's okay to like want to find somebody that's aligned with your values and stuff. And that church, I think churches have different focuses. Like there's so many areas of need. Like it's like you have like the single moms, you have, you know, like there's like maybe churches that like to get more into like social justice, like or like, you know, unplanned pregnancy. Like there's so many different like areas of need, and then churches will tackle a couple of those areas, but none of them are tackling all of them. And so like I think the church I'm going to now, one of the pastors is single, and so I think that as a result has become a place where single people really feel like they have a space and they're understood and they're valued, and that's fine. That's just part of the lane that they're in. But I'm not mad that not every church is in that lane.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good. And I don't know if we're going to like church. Well, we've been talking about church the whole time.
We could now if you want. Yeah.
But I was going to say, if you have people like on the elder team or in church leadership that are single, I think they just get it. Like they're just like a voice for the single people. They see through that lens. And then I think when you're in the thick of like kids, you see through that lens. And when you're in like the thick of dating or marriage, you kind of see through that lens. And so just having that awareness that someone in leadership, it does help a lot of just they're kind of, because one of our elders is single and they've been divorced for like 10 years, and they were just like, man, do you feel like you kind of feel ousted in our congregation, our church? And I was like, not really, because for me, I love seeing like models of really healthy marriages and families. And I think they've created so many spaces for women to connect and not just moms to connect. And they've created so many spaces for like everyone to connect as a whole. And it's just like you feel celebrated as a single person, and the families are really inviting. I don't know, we just have like a very welcoming church. I know not all churches are like that. I just feel like I don't know, found a good like gold place. It's not perfect, but I think it's just like finding a church that can like celebrate people in every stage is like really important. And so but I think that does help, Dre, that you had someone in leadership. And just to speak on behalf of Dre does not hop from like church to church. Like she's been a part of like this church for years, and she's served and like given it her all, and now she's like, oh, I actually like how this church has like biblical teaching. I've never seen anyone like investigate a church and transition to another church. Most people are like, and like what they said that sermon, okay, next church, and they like hop churches every week. It's like Andrea was like praying for months like for this transition. And so just to speak into that, and she's not like, well, I'm just going because I want a husband. She's like, oh, I actually like value this church and what they're preaching and like teaching. And just to speak on behalf of you. So
thank you. Yeah, no, I'm on board with their like overall vision for sure. I love what they're doing just as a church. And it's one of those things I think you have to ask yourself, but it's one of those things where I'm like, even if I don't meet someone here, will I be still happy that I made the transition? And once I could say yes, then it's like, okay, you know, that's good. We're good.
Good.
Okay, so what would we say?
Yeah.
What would we say to pastors or those in leadership in the church who are wanting to support single people? How can they do it well?
Yeah, which is sweet. You said you actually have a pastor that asks you that. I would say if you're a pastor who's genuinely wondering how to support single people, if you're a single person, you just need to be like, I'm here to serve. But if you're a pastor and you really want to know, then we'll tell you. But I would say honestly, just invite us in like as much as possible and create spaces for like single people just want places to show up and be a part of community. I think what I appreciate about this new church is they have so many different ways for you to show up. Like they have events on the weekends, but they also have like sports leagues. They have groups. They have like serve days. Like there's just so many ways for you to get plugged in and meet people and hang out and just be together and connect. And so I think that's huge. Another thing I've appreciated about my group from my other church is that it's like we have a consistent night that we meet. We've met for years now. I think it's been like 3 years almost 3 years. Maybe 2. But anyway, and they hardly ever cancel. And I really appreciate that because there will be some nights where it's very slim and the people who always show up are us single people because we're counting on it. Like we're counting on it. And the married people will kind of be like, oh, we have this going on, or like we're, he's tired or she's tired or whatever, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's interesting to me how much the single people are like, no, I need this. So I think as a married person, I would just be aware of that. Like we have to get our same needs for connection and belonging and all of those things met. But we don't have a person that's just here meeting them all the time. And so like those spaces are really valuable to us, and especially the consistency of it. And I just have to be intentional, right? Like I have to make sure that I have enough time where I'm connecting with family and stuff. And so I would just be aware, like it means more to us in some ways, I think. Not that married people don't need that, because they absolutely do, but I don't think they necessarily feel the loss of it in the same way that single people do when it's not there. So that's what I would say. But what would you guys say?
I would say just like, if pastors are asking like, how can I include single people or reach out to them, I would say just treat us like normal people. It's nothing crazy, but I'm like, we're people. So don't like feel like, oh, how should I talk to you? Or like sure, there are like groups you can be part of and stuff like that, but also just invite us to things. If a bunch of married people are coming and you're like, oh, but this person's single, so maybe I shouldn't invite them because they'll feel awkward, I'm like, no, just invite us because we just want to be part of things. And if they don't want to come, that's a decision that they can make. Don't make it for them. So we have value. We're not less than or anything. Don't worry about it. Just treat us like normal and invite us to things, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think definitely creating like language is like really important, or being aware of your language. So like when you preach or teach, like talking about single and families, or sharing stories, maybe not just about your kids, but like, having having like an awareness of that. And then I think for like it just knowing like no one's like less than because they're single, or not all single people are like going to church to get married or to find someone. And I think I've had not just pastors, but like people be like, we're praying for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that sounds awful. Like that makes me feel like weird and like desperate. And it's mainly been most of my mom's friends, but at church. that are like, oh no, she's in her 30s and still
It's like
single.
you have like a sickness or something. They're
Yeah,
like,
no.
we're contending for
Literally, they're like, I've been fasting for 40 days. Why isn't he here?
This is gonna break soon.
It's obviously you. It's obviously you. But it's like the weirdest feeling because you're like, what's wrong with me? But I'm like, I think it's you all. So, but it's like, I think just, yeah, like creating like normalcy of like, there's so much more than someone's like marital status that gives them value. And so creating like, there's just so much more to people. It's all about Christ. And so the less like weird and focused we can get on like your status, even though I think it's really important to talk about marriage, singleness, family, like these are huge parts of our life that affect our communities and affect our society. But I think like more that we can focus on like scripture and like how to like live out scripture as all people, single, married, parents, like I think that is what's important. And then I've kind of already said it, but just like being inclusive, like every person in the church, whatever age, whatever status, whatever background, they all carry something that is needed for the body of Christ. And so the more that we can create that momentum of like, you are valuable, period, because you're here and like Christ says you're valuable. Like I just love, like it talks about in Paul, it's like neither male nor female, neither like, single nor married, like you all have value, you all are in Christ, like we're all covered. And so I think it's like being aware of our language is really important because it can really separate people unknowingly, and I think our actions are really important. So yeah, and it's fun, like if there are events that are like tailored for single people, great. And if they're, I mean, I think sometimes they can be cheesy, and so I don't know if like a church should be doing like a mixer. I'm like, that's weird. But like I understand if they want to do like singles events, so I'm like, it's cute. But my church has been trying to convince me to do a singles event, and I'm like, I don't know, it sounds a little cheesy, but that's just me. So I'm like, well, I'll think about it.
No, I think it's more fun when it's like a mix, like, because sometimes it is like you're the only single person and everyone is coupled up and you're kind of like, okay, I'm feeling it, but it's the best when can be like a mix. And
and I think just the assumption of like, this person must feel so alone because they're single, or they must be so desperate to get married, and maybe there are people like that, but I don't know. I'm just like Callie said, treat us normal. Like
totally. Yeah. Can I talk about that birthday party I went to where I actually felt so like loved, even though I was the only single person there?
Tell us.
Tell.
So I went to, it was actually like, it was a friend's birthday. He's the husband of one of my friends who we're all like in life group together. And I was literally the only single person. There was a lot of married people, a lot of people who just had babies or pregnant, and then there was like a dating couple. But other than that, I was like so low. But just different like times throughout the day, it was just, I felt so like valued and seen and not overlooked. And I think that's what can happen, is you can feel overlooked, I think, because I don't know, it's like married people are kind of looking out for each other. And then you're like, is anyone like, is anyone looking out for me? But anyway, there was a point where the guy whose birthday it was literally like, Andrea, like, how are you doing? Like, how's your summer been? Like, I want to know how you're really doing. And was just so intentional. I'm like, it's literally your birthday. Like, we don't have to talk about how I'm doing, but here.
Dre's like, of course I'll share.
Yeah. And then I told him about it. And then there was another point where we were gonna like float down this river, and it was like hard to get off the like land into the river. We were at a spot where it wasn't designed for you to do that, and so all the husbands were like helping their wives get down like into the water. And and one of them helped me. Like
Aww.
I know, it was like so sweet. And so I think it's just like different things like that. Like just, I don't know, like you don't have to, but it is nice when people are like attentive and just notice like, I'm a guy, I'm going to look out for all the ladies here, like not and just have that sense of like covering. Yeah, so I feel like those were like really small things, but at the end of it I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so like just seen, and not overlooked, even though I was the only single person. So that was a good experience.
I love that.
Yeah.
So nice.
So good.
But any last thoughts, guys, on singles, the church, all the things?
I mean, I just think if you're like frustrated with your church because you don't feel like they support you as a single person, I'm like, go after what you can do in your church, like how you can be a part of it. And then maybe you start something to support single people, or you collaborate with your pastors of like, how can we support our single people better? Because I kind of feel like I'm not supported. Like, I think there's just so many ways. Like, if you don't just automatically have to leave a church just because you don't feel supported as a single person. Again, I'm saying don't stay in a unhealthy environment. But if you're just like, oh, I don't feel supported as a single person, it's like, okay, well, let's create support systems for you. And how are you going to be a part of that to help others? And that we're all in this together. Like, it's not a us versus single people versus the married people or whatever, especially if half of our church is single. Like, there obviously needs to be better support systems for them. And I also don't think like the goal of church is to like find your mate. Like, yeah, that's great if you find someone, but like the goal is that we become more like Christ. And so I'm like, we're missing it if it's just all about getting married and having babies. Like, it's about Christ. And so that's what I would probably say.
Yeah, that's good, Lauren.
So good. No, Lauren covered it. I'm golden.
It's true. Yeah, we're all becoming like Christ, whether you're single or married. That's
who needs families
that's your
or
number
babies?
one job.
I love follow Christ. Might as well be a nun.
Wow, that took a turn at the end there. She like has this mic drop moment, and then she's like, so might as well be a nun. Yeah, well, everyone out there, thanks for joining us today. Hope this was encouraging. Maybe it called you out a little bit. I don't know. Either way, we love you and we're here for you. And if you have any complaints, feel free to reach out to Lauren.
Yep. She's our HR.
I would love to chat
on LinkedIn because she's not on Instagram. So yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.